Matt Perry from FEBC joins me back on the program today. Good afternoon, Matt. Nice to connect with you.
Hi, Lizzie. Good to be back.
It's been a little while. And I know for you there's always many amazing things happening in the world with FEBC. Tell us about what's happening in Sudan.
That is one amazing place. What's happening in Sudan at the moment is totally unprecedented. We hear that word a lot, but it really is an historic moment. We have just opened the first ever evangelical radio station in Sudan.
Wow.
And this is not South Sudan. This is Sudan, which was the north. This is a population of around 50 million people, 97% Muslim, a very, very troubled nation these days and home to some of the most renowned, infamous terrorist groups in the world.
Wow, that's pretty full on. So it must have taken a bit of work to get it going.
Yes, indeed, exactly. It's the station itself, following that intro, is in a very discreet location. In fact, it's completely off the grid. And so it is solar powered and water wells and satellite uplinks for connections to the world. And even though it's not a total secret, there is a Christian population in the area, it is discreet. And so it took quite some years of planning. But the construction of the station, the raising of the mast, and the training of the team and so on has all taken place pretty much in the last year, 18 months, and went to air in August, just a few weeks ago, for the first time ever.
Wow. And
it's very new, very fresh.
And what sort of feedback are you getting in terms of how it's going?
I haven't had feedback yet in terms of any listenership. It's very, very fresh. The latest news we have is that it went to air on schedule. 11 staff and volunteers were trained and prepped and there on opening day. And things went off without a hitch in terms of the launch and the celebration. And it's still on air. So that's a great report at this stage.
And the people who will be listening, what are their living circumstances and environment like? I mean, very different to us listening to the radio here in New Zealand.
Yes, indeed. I mean, 20 years of brutal civil war, a very, very poor nation, and as I said, home to the world's most notorious terrorist groups, including Boko Haram, Al Qaeda, Islamic State, ISIS claim connections with most of those groups. So imagine it. And then something like 5 million are displaced, and approximately 30 million of the 50 are said to be in need by the United Nations, in need of humanitarian assistance. So this is a very broken place, a very needy place. And the beauty, as you know, of terrestrial broadcast like FM is that anyone can get it, anyone can hear it who has a cheap, simple FM receiver radio, and it can't be traced, can't be found. There's no there's no listening history on a little FM radio, and so we are hoping and praying, of course, and expecting that initial pickup, listening, sampling, and word of mouth could be absolutely huge.
Yeah. Would people get in trouble for listening to it? Is that what you're saying? You know, how it can't be traced? I mean, nobody really wants their listening history traced, but
I don't know. I think that would be about family and things. It wouldn't officially be illegal to listen to Christian radio. There's a Christian population in the country of around 2.5 to 3%. So no, but of course, anti-Christian sentiment is deep and historical. And so people often, as we find in many parts of the world, are very happy to listen discreetly until it's their choice to tell people what they listen to or what they believe. So, of course, this is the reality under persecution and antagonism in hostile places.
Yeah. So give us an update. Let's go to another part of the world. What's happening with Ukraine?
Ukraine goes on, and as you can imagine, the emotions and hope for a peace or a peace treaty, an end to the bloodshed, more like it. They don't talk so much about peace, even though, of course, that's what we anticipate and pray for. They talk about an end to the bloodshed. I've just noticed that language in their reporting. It's more about making this stop. And of course, there's been various possibilities of a treaty or a peace settlement of some kind. So their emotions are up and down. What is happening positively is that our guys are always looking for new initiatives and programs that speak to the heart of people. So there's a brand new program going to air very soon, any day, sometime this month, aimed at teenagers, young people and teenagers who are facing, of course, a future shaped by brokenness, fear, anxiety, and loss and death. And so the program is called I Know What You Mean. And you can imagine young people getting around, sharing their stories, but then we bring in psychologists, returned soldiers, and it's hosted by a 20-year-old journalist with a real passion for the Lord and a passion for young people. She's very dynamic and a love for practical Christianity. And the idea is to help validate people's, young people's, teenagers' feelings, hear their story, their pain. They've all lost someone, a father, a brother, an uncle, or whatever. And so to hear them, let them tell their story and not give them shallow sort of platitudes, but speak into that, but move the conversation from, the initial feelings to a longer remedy, deeper psychological and spiritual assistance.
That's wonderful. A report that you'd sent through to us, actually, and I'd read earlier, talks about the challenges of your radio programmers. Very different than, I might get a bit of traffic getting to work. Some of them are involved in being in the army. Is that right?
Yes. As you can imagine, the war goes on, and the need for more fighting people, fighting men. And so more and more of the men in our team are drafted into the army. On the upside, if you can call it that, is that most of them manage to get appointed as chaplains. So several of our senior broadcasters who were program directors, announcers, producers, and so on, are now chaplains and other soldiers, of course. One of our most senior broadcasters, who was sort of first on the ground during the initial invasion, and some of his videos are on our YouTube channel, he's been drafted in the last few months. He is chaplain to the most senior military officers, some of the most senior military officers in Ukraine. And so to look for the redemptive seam in this story, our programmers are having an influence face to face on the battlefront and with the soldiers. And then, of course, coming back to the studio when they can to produce programs in light of what they've experienced and what people are really, really facing.
Far out. I'm never going to complain about the traffic again. That's next level. Yes, it's such a world away from our world, and yet it's a world that you're very involved in, Matt. For people who want to keep up to date, to find out more, where's the best place to go?
Yes, come and see us online or call us, but online, febc.nz. We try and keep stories fresh. There's some new stuff going up most weeks. And call us, 0800 433 226. I'm happy to tell people what's going on and what we can pray for and what our support is achieving.
Matt Perry, thank you for your time today.
Pleasure. Great to see you.